immersive design and experiences. She's an electronic music performance artist performing on TEDx, South by. We saw her there last year, beginning of this year. Brilliant. Let me give the floor to her to explain all about her performance art. We're really happy to have you here on stage today on DEPT Festival. Everybody, please give it up for Chagall!
Can I go? Okay. I thought there was going to be a whole video. That's what I was told. Good morning. Hi. Thank you so much for coming this early morning from everywhere in the world. I'm really happy to be here. About the phones, I think he was talking about the interference that might cause with my gloves. But as I'm an artist and I need to promote myself, I do encourage you to take videos, but please do tag me in everything that you post. Everything is there. And now I'm going to talk about the real stuff. So my name is Chagall. I'm originally from Amsterdam, lived in London for a long time, and that's where I found my way of performing that I'm doing now in the technology that I'm using and developing myself. So I'm an electronic musician. Oh, wait. Yes. I'm an electronic musician, and in 2011, I realized that if I learned how to produce my own music using computers, that would open up a whole world of sound and creativity for me. Because computers have all of the brain power and creative power that you usually need loads of instruments and loads of people for, but now I could do it all myself, which was great. But then it came to performing, and the only way that I had to perform my electronic music in a live way that wasn't just pressing play and then sing, was to use a whole table full of buttons and faders. And who's ever been to an electronic music performance? Who's ever seen like DJs? Been to ADE? I bet if you go to ADE, mostly you see people like this, right? They're standing behind a table with a screen and they're kind of looking down. And because I'm originally a singer, I was really used to being on stage and communicating my stories with my audience, and in this way, I couldn't do that. So I needed a solution. But luckily, I wasn't the only person with this problem. This lady on the screen is brilliant. Her name is Imogen Heap, and she had the same problem. She was touring all over the world with a whole truckload full of gear, and then when she was finally able to play all of the music that she created in a studio, the audience still didn't really understand what was going on, because she was running around touching all these buttons and faders that were doing all kinds of things, but you couldn't really tell the difference between the things that she did on stage and what you could hear. So she gathered a team of designers and programmers and designers around her, and they created the Mew gloves. These are the original versions. These are already 4 years old that we created by hand. But recently, we finally launched the first commercially available Mew gloves, and they look like this. I'm not using them yet because I still really love my old ones. But soon I'll switch. So really, in short, they're fabric, but they have sensors embedded in them that can measure the bend of your fingers. So it knows the difference between when my finger is straight and when it's bent, and then for every finger. And then in our software, we can detect what posture I'm making. I'll demonstrate this soon. So it knows the difference between open hand, fist, one finger point, that kind of stuff. And what else? Oh, yeah, so there's an IMU on the wrist, so same kind of sensor you have in your mobile phone. So it detects this movement, that movement, and also peaks. So you can do drum hits. And then it's wireless, so it communicates all that movement data over Wi-Fi. So I have a router over there, and that goes to the computer. And then all of the movement just ends up over there, which is wireless. And then there's a few things for my own feedback. So there's haptic feedback embedded, so I can give myself little buzzes when I know something has changed over there. Whole point, basically, everything happens over there, but I'm controlling it from here. So yeah, this is kind of how it works. So you have the gloves, the router gets all the data, and then we have Glover, which is sort of the brain of this whole thing. That's the app that's on my screen right now over there. And then I can connect that app to anything that takes MIDI or OSC, so I can control Ableton Live, for example. OK, this was boring, but now you know that that's all happening. But I'll prove it to you and also explain a little bit more while I'm making some sounds what's actually happening. So I told you I've got these peaks. I also have peaks in my wrist, like wrist flicks. So now I started a drum beat. And then I have different postures. So for example, this posture we call secret finger, because you can not see it. And as long as I'm making the secret finger, I'm controlling the volume of these synths. I can hear them, but you can hear them too. There we go. So I can put them back. So if I don't do the secret finger, nothing happens. Ooh. But as long as I do it, the synths come back in. And then when I do this posture, I'm going to bring in the bass. There it comes. And then if I go more to my right, there's a filter on the bass. I hope. There we go. Make sure to tag me. And then can just leave it there, so we have the filter. And I'm going to make a one-finger point. The bass is going to jump. And if I make a two-finger point, it's going to be faster. Maybe some notes. Okay. And then maybe some more drums. Oh, no. There we go. And if I point to my left, I'm going to loop my voice. Or not. Okay. Oh, it doesn't want to do it. Oh, it stopped. Why did that do that? Okay. Fine. I can try to show you another thing, maybe. This one. Okay, so this is a good example of the different postures. So as I learn to yeah. So as long as I do this fist forward, I have this chord. That way it's that chord, and I open my hand, it's another chord again. And if I do this one, it's a bass, and then again we have this filter. Oh, it's actually the same sound as the other song. Okay, here. So as long as I do the one finger point with my right hand, what I just want to show you too, I can loop my voice. Cool. Okay, back to the story. Thanks. I hope you can definitely try to comment too, because this, I mean, I really wanted to show you this is all real, but for me, the whole point of using this technology is that I can actually make actual music and really perform at the same time that I'm controlling this electronic stuff. What also has been really interesting for me is that this has opened my eyes to be a real try to be a real performer and think a bit more about my stage presence and my movement. Because using these type of controllers kind of forces you to think about how you move on stage and how you interact with your music, and also makes you think about what music looks like to you. So this is a video of when I first tried the gloves on ever in my own house. So a few years ago, I got involved in this project, and at first I was just helping, ordering parts, and just managing the project, and after a few weeks, I could take one glove home with me to try. And after a few beers, I just decided to program some stuff and try to do some things. I was a little bit tipsy, but I think you can, in this video, it really shows, even if you've never tried it before, you can immediately see how you see music and how you feel music, how you imagine music to look, which we all have, I promise you. I promise if I put the gloves on any of you, you would all use them in a very different way. But I did this. So I'm here barely doing anything. I'm just playing like three different notes with octavers on them and a little bit of that filter. There's almost nothing. There's almost nothing going on, but you immediately have there's drama in it, which to me make this kind of technology really interesting. This is the first Sappho song was the first song that I composed with the gloves, where also the choreography became really important. And actually, currently, I'm doing a project where I'm focusing even more on the choreography, because I'm using, now starting to use, I think I have a slide about this. Right, well, that's my mission. Okay, here's my suit. So I'm now using a full body motion capture suit that tracks all of my movement for my whole body. So choreography is becoming more and more important, and to control music. And I think that way I can even make electronic music and all of the things about electronic music that we can't see or really understand, because it takes place inside the computer. I'm making that visual. And I'm doing that with my movement and my choreography, but I'm also doing that with the projections behind me that are directly related to what I'm doing on stage. So definitely come and check that out at 2. What was the other thing that I wanted to say? Yeah, so, hello. So what this for me all has meant is that I'm really thinking about how we can experience music in a more meaningful way. What is amazing about a lot of music technology and just technology in general is that we have every song that we can ever imagine just in our pocket. And I'm a Spotify user as well, and YouTube is amazing, and we can just look up everything, and we surround ourselves with more music than ever, I think. There's music literally everywhere. There's no brand that doesn't use music. But do we really, really listen? And are we really able to experience it and experience the meaning behind it and all of the effort and stories that the artist put in there? And that's what I'm really trying to do using technology, specifically this movement technology, but I'm also working in VR and trying to use VR to make people more engaged with the stories that I'm telling. I've got 1.5 minutes left, and I wanted to show you this flute. Once upon a time, this was the most advanced technology that there was. This flute was found 40,000 years ago, I think somewhere in Germany. And this flute, for archaeologists, is the proof why, or the explanation why Homo sapiens, so us, survived and sort of won from the Neanderthals, who already lived in Europe too when we came here from Africa, because we had music. Thank you. Because we had music, because we had culture, and we had stuff that connected us. We wanted to stick together, and we protected each other, and we worked together, and that's how we became successful as a species. So I think music is just really important for us to stick together and look into ourselves and connect to ourselves and to connect to the others around us. And I think electronic music should do that as much as acoustic and more traditional music. And with new controllers like these, I think we can do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Chagall.